So you want to start a YouTube channel, huh? It's not easy, but I'm telling you, it'll be worth it. The trick is you've got to stay consistent. You know, I just started my YouTube channel not too long ago, so if there's anybody that can tell you how to start, right, it's me. And I'm telling you, it was a process, right? At first, when I first started my YouTube channel, like a year and a half ago, it was just me filming on my phone. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it wasn't consistent. If I was doing it horribly, but doing it every day, that would have been better than doing what I was doing, which was filming one video and then forgetting about it for a couple weeks and then picking it back up and so on and so forth. So I want to give you a couple of tips that have helped me with launching this YouTube channel and getting it. I mean, we've only been around for, it's like 6 months now. We've been around for about 6 months. We're at 600 followers or so. So we're picking up maybe 100 followers or subscribers a month. We had, over the last 28 days, we had 76 hours of watch time, I believe, over the last 28 days. Not an incredible amount, but you know, better than most, I would say. And you know, some of the coolest conversations that I've had the chance to have at 8% Nation last weekend. People came up to me and said, you know what, you run with me everywhere I go. And I'm thinking like, wait, what? I don't run. What do you mean? And they're like, oh yeah, I listen to you in my headphones, and you know, when I'm running in the morning, or you know, when I go on walks, or when I'm at the office. He's like, man, you're playing at my office every single day. And I'm like, where's your office, dude? I ain't never even been there. But because they're, you know, people paying attention to it, they're getting actual value from it. It's the coolest experience that I can ever, like, I mean, it's seriously, it's awesome. And it's working when I'm not, right? So I will consistently be posting at least on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll push out more content as we grow. But I want to give you a couple of tips, right? The first tip is really simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Pick up your phone, talk to it. Maybe you get a cool background or something like this. I'll tell you, Eric, can you hand me that in that backpack? There's a tripod. And the other day I'm driving in St. Pete. Get one of these things, right? This is a Joby off Amazon. I'll link it in the description, or Eric will, because he's the man. Some of you guys thought my mom follows me around with a camera, but it's actually my man Eric. Most of you guys have seen him. Get a little tripod like this so you can do this, or maybe you just set it up, something like that, right? And then you can talk to it. So I was driving in downtown St. Pete yesterday, and there was a girl who was standing in front of, like, everywhere you live, every city has, you know, a downtown area where there might be some art murals on the wall, or there may be some cool statues or something. So you don't need like a studio, okay? You don't need thousands of dollars worth of equipment. You don't need a background in, you know, editing and videography. You just need to think outside the box a little bit. So I'm going to go through kind of some of the things that I have behind me here and what we built my studio out of. But before I get into that, I want to let you know, like, you don't need all of that stuff. The best thing to do is just to start by speaking from the heart. You know, tell me about your story. How'd you get into insurance? What's your purpose behind the YouTube? What's your goals? What are you going after every day? Because by you putting out that message, okay, by you being clear and concise, right, and having consistency, those 3 C's, clear, concise, and consistent, right? You've got to be clear, you've got to be concise, and you've got to be consistent. If you're those 3 things over and over again, what's going to happen is people, you know, alongside of you, people in the same industry are going to come alongside of you and help out and encourage you. And, you know, cool story. I'll just tell you this real quick. Had a friend of mine. He's in financial services. He's not necessarily in insurance, but he's a good friend of mine. And I live nearby him, right? I don't want to give too much away, but he called me one day and he said, man, I just want to thank you for the video content you're putting out, man. When you first moved near me, okay? And I got a bunch of people that live around me, so you'll never guess who it is. But, you know, he said, when you first moved near me, you know, I was kind of complacent at the time. You know, I was pretty happy with the money that I was making and the book of business, the size that it was, and, you know, so on and so forth. But man, I've just been encouraged and inspired through your videos. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to be known for. I want to pull out the best in the people that are around me, because that continues to make me strive after my best. So don't overcomplicate it. Turn your mess into your message. Tell your story. You know, talk about who you are, and people will come, you know, alongside of people will come to, you know, watch what you're putting down. So first rule, don't overcomplicate things, right? Second rule, be consistent. I've already kind of talked about it. Post on a schedule. Okay, for us, it's been Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's something I know I can commit to. I didn't start by saying, I'm showing up on stories on Facebook. I'm showing up on lives. I try to show up at least in one way or the other once a day. Okay, so it's not all YouTube, but I wanted to do this on growing a YouTube channel, starting a YouTube channel. So show up consistently, whether it's Mondays and Fridays. Don't do Tuesdays and Thursdays because my videos already drop on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? So do like Mondays and Fridays or every Wednesday. Hey, we've got a new wacky Wednesday for you every single Wednesday, whatever you want to call it, but show up consistently. And if you drop those videos on the same days of the week, over time, YouTube likes it for one, and people know when and where to find you, right? That's the biggest goal. So stay consistent, okay? And then the biggest success hack that I've used, right, or the biggest hack that I've used is I've followed others that have YouTube channels in the similar industries, and I've found topics you can actually sort by most viewed, most recent, most viewed. You can sort by most viewed and see kind of, hey, what are other people? You don't want to copycat somebody, but what are other people interested in? Like if I put out a video on cats, I might get 10 views, but if I put out a video on dogs, I might get 10,000 views because everybody loves dogs, and who the heck likes cats? That's just simple facts. But the goal is to find content that people are watching and keeping it relevant. I enjoy kind of brainstorming with Eric some ideas and coming up with an idea and thinking like, hey, this is going to be good. I think this one is going to get a lot of views. And then you put it out there and it's like, falls flat on its face, you get no views. You're like, man, I thought people would like that one. And then you put out another video, it's like, oh, this is stupid, whatever. One of the most recent ones we did was a trip down memory lane. I actually did that, and if you haven't checked that out, can we put the video? We'll put the video right here or somewhere. Eric will do it, around, up here. He'll do it over here. So that video actually kind of happened, organically, just out of the blue. Eric showed up. We filmed certain days, and we had planned to film that day, and I'm like, shoot, man, I got a haircut. I got an appointment I got to get to. I got this, I got that. I said, you know what, let's do this. So I'll just bring you with me in the car. Let's go to the haircut. Let's go. That's the reason why we filmed my haircut. It wasn't like, I don't walk around with a cameraman getting my haircuts filmed and, like, oh, got to go to the bakery and pick up some donuts. Come on, Eric. Like we were filming in the car, and so he came in and, whatever. So I thought, hey, let's go take a look at all the houses that I was either evicted from or lived in or, whatever. And we went to those different houses, and, it became a great piece of content. In fact, one of the pieces of content that I'm most proud of, most happy with is because it's just kind of my story. It was just being real, right? So, search for relevant topics and keep it, relevant or at a high engagement topic, things that people want to see. Okay. Lastly, I want to talk about my studio real quick. People are like, man, this thing looks cool. You got a great background. I want to tell you, this is like $150, $180 on Instagram. I found it on Instagram. If you direct message me, I'm not going to have Eric search for the link or anything, but if you direct message me, I will find out where I bought that and I'll send it to you. So just direct message me on social. But that thing's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's just a sign that says hustle. These little octagonal, whatever you call hexagons, right? These hexagons are off of Amazon. I spent all together, this might be $250, $300, right? So I put up some little sound, sound buffers is what they would call them, I guess. But they don't do much on sound. They're really just for looks. Bought a whiteboard at Sam's Club. Nothing crazy. And then a small monitor, right? Like it's actually a TV, a small TV where I could project my, my YouTube channel, or I can actually AirPlay my computer to it so I can put different stuff behind me. But I got a ring light over here, and I've got a little light right here that it's actually Eric's light. It's a pretty cool light. Wish you could see the light. It's pretty cool. But it's nice and soft, right? It's a soft white light, makes me look less red maybe. So it's not an elaborate setup by any means. You can get away with something even more simple than this and then graduate into some other things. I'm glad that I started this way, keeping it simple, because, every once in a while I like to get out of the office and, film something driving down the road, or, you know, at an event or whatever. But this is great for webinars and for shooting this content, and you don't have to overcomplicate it. So, you know, show up consistently. Don't overcomplicate things. Don't try to Side note, bonus, it shows, go back to the first, I'm gonna hate myself for doing this, but go back to the first video I posted where I have like a freaking sign behind me and a stupid TV. I mean, it's horrible. And you could almost tell, like, you could definitely tell, like, oh, he's trying real hard. Like, oh, he's trying to make it look good. The less you like try, for lack of a better way of saying it, the better that's actually gonna be. Like if you're just like, hey guys, you know, listen, and it's like recorded off something like that, versus like using a crappy editor or trying to do things you're not really that great at, probably not a good idea. Just roll with it, film relevant content, stay consistent, show up, and don't even look at the numbers until you've really been doing it for 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. Then you wanna maybe start looking at, okay, it's working, or hey, maybe we need to make some adjustments. So I hope that helps. I'm gonna be doing some awesome stuff in the future with Eric, of course. If you're in Florida, if you're nearby, even if you're not, and you're like, man, I'd rather just go all out, and you know, let's get Eric and maybe Brad, maybe I'll show up too. We'll film a bunch of content for you. We'll block out 4 hours. We'll put out 100 pieces of content, something like that. We'll put a plan together. We're willing to help. Just reach out. I'm happy to lend Eric and myself on whatever we can do to help you. I saw a lot of people commit to showing up on video. I hope to see you on video.